Hi, everybody. It's Mike from Hear the Watchmen. On today's edition of the Watchmen's Report, we have a wonderful guest. It's someone who attended our conference in Dallas. I call her the girl in the lobby with Anthony Patch, not like the girl with the dragon tattoo, the girl in the lobby with Anthony Patch. Her name is Natalie Morris, and she has an interesting story. She became very ill, and I'm going to let her tell it to you. She went through some things that kind of healed her. And at the conference, we had a chance meeting with Anthony Patch, and they got into a very, very deep discussion. And we're going to share a little bit of that with you today. Natalie, before we get started, could you share with us for just a couple of minutes about what the conference meant to you and what happened in your heart? Was it worth coming?
Oh, it was so good, and thank you again for having me. My husband and I came, and this was our first year. We had been following a lot of the guys that, the headliners of the conference, like Russ Tisdar and Ellie Marzulli and Pastor Paul Bagley, and some of the speakers. We had really kind of begun to watch them and listen and pay attention. We loved hearing things, on YouTube videos and to watch them, but to meet them in person and to hear their sincerity and hear their love for Christ and hear their heart and really meet them. It was a phenomenal event, and you could just really hear, you could hear God moving in the speakers. You could hear them moving in just conversations people were having with one another. And of course, you got to go to all the different vendors and meet these people. And it was like I found my tribe. It's like I found my people. And, in churches these days, it's really tough for some of these ideas and not be seen as fringe or weird. So to be able to come somewhere and go, okay, there are others, it was extremely refreshing for us.
Well, that's just amazing. It's funny, Jeannie and I, with God's help, put these conferences on, and it's so nice to hear conversations and hear comments from people that, find each other across the country. Because, folks, let's face it, most of us feel that we're totally alone out there and isolated, and our friends and our neighbors, even our family, think that we're completely nuts. And so when you come to the conferences, to Hear the Watchmen conferences, it's a chance for everyone to get together and be one big family. So, Natalie, let's get right into the nitty-gritty of this. Tell me, you ran into Anthony Patch. He will be a speaker in our conference coming this August 18th through 22nd in Boise, Idaho. He will be speaking there. And you had a chance meeting with him in the lobby at the Hilton DFW Lakes Conference Center and Hotel. What transpired for you in that conversation?
Well, this was amazing because I came to the conference knowing that he was not going to be there. Disappointed, going, well, they must have just not been able to get him, or maybe he couldn't come, or whatever. And so we literally, my husband that morning had just kind of packed our stuff, and we were literally walking out of the lobby. We were about to leave to get on the bus to go to the airport. And even though we were filled and we were so amazed at the different speakers of the conference, I was really kind of hoping that he would up and maybe I would get an audience with him. To be totally frank, I follow Anthony quite a bit and his work with CERN and quantum physics. And my story is that I got extremely sick. My whole family, we were all sick. I had a child that was on the Asperger's spectrum. He was just slipping away into autism, and I was crying out to God. And through a 6, 7, almost 8-year process, I developed, using quantum physics principles, using muscle testing and binary information, which is zeros and ones, getting yeses and nos from the body, to learn and I guess develop this technique of quantumly releasing pathogens and toxins in the body. Particular to me, I was riddled with pathogens in relation to a particular pathogen that all my family had and most chronically ill people have, called Mycoplasma fermentans incognitus. It's a quantum pathogen that has the ability to bend light in the body and quantumly entangle with other things in the body. So as my research progressed, obviously people like Anthony Patch, who are just on the forefront of quantum physics and quantum entanglement and CERN and the modern day sort of experience of what we're doing in that realm, he's always of great interest to me. So, you know, for me, the quantum physics is critical to just my daily work, working with clients, doing this work with them, quantumly releasing this pathogen, and then watching them heal. You know, I watched my son come out of Asperger's. He's a totally different kid. My other son, Jacob, he had total adrenal fatigue and adrenal collapse. There were times that he couldn't walk out of nowhere. So, and my husband was a mess. He was depressed and sad all the time, couldn't seem to come out of that. And I was totally debilitated. I just couldn't function. So, you know, with this quantum work that I do, I have taught the body a way to quantumly release these pathogens. Of course, I've always wanted to talk to Anthony Patch about this because I felt like, you know, he would get it. It's, you know, I talk to people about this sometimes and they kind of glaze over. They don't kind of get it because there's just a lot of math involved. But we're leaving the hotel, this is in hand, and in walks Anthony Patch. He's literally walking in the hotel. There's nobody with him. I'm thinking seconds to make a decision here. I'm not even shy. And I walk up to him and say, Mr. Patch, it's really nice to meet you and really appreciate the work that you do. And then we were able to really talk about my work. And here's the cool thing. You know, meet someone who you really respect and admire. You're hoping that they receive the information that you give them. And this guy, he didn't even blink. I mean, he just is listening to everything that I'm saying, understanding exactly where I'm coming from, exactly understanding a quantum nature of a pathogen, how a pathogen can quantumly entangle itself with other things in the body, how it can be quantumly released. And then on top of that, gives me new ideas. Have you looked at this? Have you looked at that? Maybe you should look at this. Maybe you should write a book. Maybe you should get this information out. And it was truly a synergistic conversation where I think some of the information that I brought to him, he had not quite heard in that framework, but he was following me just fine. He understood the concepts of quantum release, how the body could release a pathogen into the boson field, rendering it completely gone to the body. The body stops having the immune response and then heals itself. So it was a phenomenal experience. You know, I told my husband I was going to be intolerable for at least 48 hours. Just really excited because I was able to speak with him. And I'm hoping that it opens the doors to some more conversations with him because he seemed very interested in my work.
Well, I can assure you that it's going to, because I'm going to send him a copy of this interview. And, you know, Natalie, it's you know, that's a God thing. What happened there, I'll tell you what happened. Anthony couldn't come to Dallas, but he was coming to pick up Pastor Casper McLeod. They're writing a book together. And the mere fact that you were in that lobby at that moment when he was there, and then I happened to walk out and see him. I didn't know he was coming to pick up Casper. And we were all able to share some time. That's the way God works. It really is. And I just, you know, you and your husband were so wonderful to meet at the conference and spend time with. I mean, we're really hoping that we can get you out to Boise this summer. Put some money in the piggy bank and come on out, because Anthony will be there, and you could spend some more time with him. Now, what is it you talk about your clients? What is it that you do for work?
So what I do is I work with clients that are extremely ill. It's pretty much by the time people get to me, they're either bedridden or they are in the loop of modern medicine and can't seem to get out, and they're not getting any symptom relief. So those symptoms usually look like Lyme disease, chronic migraines, chronic allergies, allergies to basic food groups like grains, dairy, soy, some of the basic stuff that we should just be able to eat. Or chronic pain, fibromyalgia, restless leg syndrome, headaches, stomach aches, you name it. For children, oftentimes it manifests as ADHD, tummy pains, oh, my legs hurt, oh, mommy, my back hurts, oh, I don't feel good. And that is a manifestation of a pathogen called Mycoplasma fermentans incognitus, which stands for MFI. And that pathogen is an invisible pathogen. It is a genetically modified pathogen that's owned by the United States Army. You can find the patent online. It's a pretty old pathogen. And many, many people have it. In fact, the only people I've ever met that do not have it never get sick. They're fine, they don't have chronic illnesses, they don't react to pollen, they don't have chronic headaches, they don't have to watch their diet, they can lose and gain weight just like they want to, they don't have issues with their endocrine system. So my technique quantumly releases, and when I say quantumly releases, I just basically means like make go away instantly. This pathogen by, connecting with the person, like we're connected. I would just muscle test you over the phone. I'm using yeses and nos in a highly focused, extremely accurate muscle testing technique that gives me extremely good data. I get that information from the body. I just ask the body to do it, and it does it. And this is sort of the execute button. The yeses and nos say, yep, we did it, it's done. It's kind of like looking in Schrodinger's box. Okay, there's either a cat that's dead or alive, and my muscle testing opens that box and tells me what's going on. So the body begins to heal as soon as this MFI is quantumly released from the body. MFI is extremely dangerous and extremely debilitating. My entire family had it. And my story starts out with like, I'm just working with my family because we're just desperate to get well. Then I kind of hit jackpot, find MFI, release it. I start to get better. My kids start to get better. Unbelievably, my child starts to come out of Asperger's. He becomes a really funny, cool kid who we've just not been able to meet almost all of his life because he's been, in the depths of this Asperger's. And then I started working on my friends going, okay, if this works, then all my friends are sick. They all had what was called Lyme disease. They started getting well. And then for the first 4 to 6 months of my work, I began to take clients for free going, I just want to make sure this works. Like, I'm just going to ask warm bodies to show up and I'll just start doing the work. And so I started muscle testing, started releasing MFI. People started seeing phenomenal healing. Lyme disease people getting out of bed, going and getting jobs. Some people quit their jobs, started a wellness center. One of my particular clients started a wellness center, started working 40 to 60 hours a week. She was extremely sick. This technique really takes the best of quantum physics, the best of what the body's able to do, makes it easily accessible. I don't consider it like a spiritual gift. I consider it a skill set. In fact, I want to launch this August, September, Quantum University, so that people can begin this process of learning how to do this. They can be sent out. They can start making, income using this technique. People start getting well, and it really hopefully will just spread that way.
Well, Natalie, God bless you for the work that you're doing. And I'll tell you what, why don't you launch it in August and come up to Idaho, and we'll make sure everyone at the conference there gets to meet you and knows what you're doing. And for our viewers today, how can people get a hold of you? Do you have an email address or a website? Because there's a lot of people that need what you're doing.
I do. My website is www.quantum.net. And they can just come to that website. There's a little tab that says contact me. They can email me through that website. You can just give me their information. They can give me their information. I'll give them a ring, leave their phone number. I'll give them a ring. We just set up a time for you to get involved. And right there on the website, you can see, you know, what my story was and how sick I was and what I tried. I mean, I tried some really crazy, wild stuff. If it was new and it was out there and they were saying it would make you well, I was doing it. But nothing was working, and I just kept getting sicker and sicker. So this was the only thing that made me well. And I tell you, even if I did not believe it for myself because I got well, I believe it because I watched my son come out of the depths of this horror of Asperger's. This kid would have been full-blown autistic by the time he was a teenager. And I just told God, I said, this is not from you. You did not give us autism. You did not give us Asperger's and adrenal fatigue and headaches and sickness. This is not from you. So only you can break the power of the enemy. So you show me how to do it. And that 7-year process, it was about 7 years, it was like a mountain. Where he said, okay, there's this mountain and I'm gonna get you to the top of it, this teeny tiny part of the mountain first. And you're gonna stay here for like, you know, 3 months and you're gonna explore this little rock. And I want you to learn everything there is to know about this rock. Okay, now that's done. Now we're gonna move over here, 3 steps to the left, and I want you to explore this tree and learn everything about this tree. And we made our way up the mountain like that. And it was a profoundly incredible journey of spiritual trust, you know, that I knew that one day something was going to break, that God was going to show me that final piece. But you have to learn one thing before you can learn another. That process was definitely daily. I worked in conjunction with my mom. My mom and I teamed up together because she didn't want to take care of my kids. You know, she didn't want to have to watch my kids for the rest of my life. Because, you know, she wanted to be a grandmother, not a mother, not a second mother. So we worked really synergistically together. And then I began to move more and more up that mountain. We finally found MFI, and then it really started to work. The healing stuff just started to happen like that. It was amazing. And I'm just so grateful. I'm grateful to God. I'm grateful that this tool has been put in my lap. And I really think that people are truly benefiting from it.
Well, I got to tell you, you're a gift from God. And it's amazing how he works and how he works through people to do things like you do. Let's get that website 2 times slowly so we can make sure our listeners can contact you.
www.quantumcommand.net. That's quantumcommand.net. And if you just want to email me directly, that's quantumcommand@gmail.com. And that's fine.
Well, that's awesome. You know, folks, I hope you enjoyed today's show. A couple of things before we go. Want to let you know you can still sign up for our 30-day on-demand of the Dallas conference. You don't want to miss it. You'll get 30 days. It costs you about $1, a little more than $1 a day. And I think that your soul is worth it. You know, spend the money, invest in yourself. Also, go to our website. You can buy the DVDs now. You can order the DVDs. It's a pre-order. You get pre-order pricing. Go there, click the Order Dallas DVD, get in line, get set up so that we could give you that whole conference on DVD at a very reasonable price. And lastly, go to American Survival Wholesale.com. Go there. Chance and Merrill, who are at the conference and who were so gracious, they had an offer there at the conference where you can buy a year's worth of food, stored food, to prepare, just in case for whatever. It could be a hurricane, it could be a tornado, it could be an EMP attack, who knows? But go there. They have a layaway plan that they have going on right now where you can get that year's worth of food and you don't have to pay for it all up front. In any event, to the girl in the lobby with Anthony Patch, Natalie Morris, thank you so much for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you in Boise, Idaho this August. God bless each and every one of you for joining us today. We'll be back with another episode of the Watchmen's Report. Stay tuned. Please share our channel. Let people know what's going on. We're just trying to spread God's word and bring the remnant family together again. So God bless each and every one of you. We'll see you next time.